Welcome to today's video. I really like doing the Icelandic cast off. I find it a very attractive cast off. It's slightly stretchy and it takes a little bit longer than a normal cast off, but I really like it. I've used it on a few things recently. I've done a tutorial on this before, but I was shown how to do it one way, and that's the way I've been doing it, and that's the way I filmed my previous tutorial. And then recently I found out a different way of doing it, so I've been experimenting with that, and the new way I've learned to do it is a lot quicker and easier. So in today's video I'm going to show you both ways of doing it. So that's the original way. I have got a loose loopy stitch there, which is just my fault, and that is the new way I've learned to do it. If that loopy stitch hadn't been there, it would look the same. So the result is the same, but one way is much quicker and easier than the other method, I think. So I'm going to link to my original tutorial as well. If you are new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns, I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So I worked a little bit in stocking stitch here, so let's look at the first method of doing Icelandic cast off, the one that I always used to do till I discovered a different way of doing it. So I'm going to join in a new yarn just so you can see the structure of what I'm doing. So I'm going to knit the first stitch, then I'm going to put that stitch back on the left hand needle, but I will twist it. So instead of putting it in like that, I will twist the needle around like that. So I'm putting it back, so it's sitting the correct way on my needle. Then I go in, take my right needle out, I go in purlwise, and I go into the second stitch. Now I just have to try and hold this so that it stays out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. So I go in like that, I go in through the second stitch as normal. So the first stitch purlwise, and then the green stitch, I go into the stitch as if I'm going to knit it, but I pull it through the first stitch, in and pull it through the first stitch, and then I knit it with the yellow yarn. You see that? So let me take that off. Then I put that back on the left needle, but I twist it like that, go in purlwise into the first stitch, go into the second stitch as normal, but instead of your needle coming out of the back here, you twist your needle around so it comes out in front of that yellow strand. So you're knitting that stitch through the first stitch, knitted and off, twisted, in purlwise into the second stitch, pull it through and knit it. Put it back on the left hand needle, go into that stitch purlwise, into the second stitch knitwise, but take the needle so that it comes out in front of the back leg of the first stitch, and then knitted, so you're knitting it through the first stitch. So let me show you how to do it English style. Put it stitch back first. Now I'm not very good at doing this English style. In fact, I'm not sure I've actually done this English style before, so we'll see how this goes. Go in purlwise. I like to hold onto the fabric with my thumb and my index finger on my left hand as I do this, just to control the fabric a bit more. Go into the second stitch knitwise, twist my needle all the way around so that it comes out in front of the back leg of that first stitch, wrap the yarn around to knit it. Keep tension on that working yarn, otherwise it's a bit difficult. Hang on, and come back out through. Twist the yarn to put it back on, go in purlwise into the second stitch knitwise, twist the needle around, wrap the yarn around and knit it. So I'm going to do a few more a bit quicker, continental style, till I get halfway through the row, and then I will show you my new way of doing it. So we're halfway through the row now. We'll look at these stitches I've cast off properly in a minute when I finish them. So you always start and knit the first stitch. Because I've already done an Icelandic cast off, I have a stitch on my right needle, so that will count as my first knitted stitch. If I knitted the first stitch, it would look like this. So now when I put it back on the left hand needle, I'm just going to put my needles so they face each other, and slip that stitch back without twisting it or anything like that. Just needles facing each other, move that stitch just like you're slipping it purlwise. Go in. Actually, I'm going to put a marker in my fabric so that we can tell if it looks any difference. I haven't actually done this before, so we will see whether it looks any different. I haven't compared them. Now we're going to go in through that first one the same way. So this is the same as before. In through the second stitch, knit it together and off. Put that stitch back, just purlwise straight back. Good thing about this is you don't have to take the right needle out. You can leave the right needle in. So if you put your left needle into the back of that stitch, you can leave the right needle where it is and just twist it around, go into the second stitch and knit it. Purlwise back on. If your left needle is at the back, your right needle at the front, you can just go into the second stitch and knit it. So this is actually the same. It's only this first bit that's different. Then let me just do a few more and then we'll look at what difference it makes. There we go. So now I'm going to just cut the yarn and then pull the last stitch. So if you just pull on the stitch till the tail pops through, like that. Let's look at this and see what it looks like. So what you have to be careful about is making sure that when you put this stitch back on the left hand needle to start the movement again, that stitch isn't too big, because if it is, it will end up a bit loopy like this one here. You'll see that big yellow stitch there, that was too big when I passed it back to my left hand needle. But it's got a nice bit of stretch in it. It has this kind of like almost like a robe type texture. Obviously you can see the structure of it better when you have two colors, and this is the second bit. In terms of stretchiness, it doesn't make any difference. And apart from that stitch there, which is a bit loose, apart from that loose stitch there, I don't think it has any difference in appearance either. Just trying to see. The last couple of stitches were a little bit tight, but I think they look about the same. I can't tell the difference. So being able to pass the stitch back just purlwise is a lot quicker because you don't have to take the needle out and put it back in again. So once I realized that I could do it that way, that's the method I've been doing every time I've used this cast off. And I do really like this cast off. It looks good, and it's a little bit stretchier than a regular cast off. So I do like to use it on necklines and hems if I'm knitting top down and things like that. But do be careful you don't get like a loose loopy stitch like that. So when you put the stitch back on your left hand needle before you start again, you have to just make sure that stitch isn't too loose. Hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Have you tried this tutorial? What do you think? Let me know, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.